cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust? If you've got some questions about your fantasy squad,
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I get.
What up? Wow, that was a horrible
Gotta start the stream over.
Let's try it again. Okay, hold on one sec. What up, world? Welcome back to the Get Right Fantasy Network. I'm Mike Herrick, a.k.a. Classic Mike, and I'm here with my good buddy, Kendall. What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Hey, man, another great Friday to be talking some fantasy with you, brother. It's been a fun week. It was my 4-year-old's birthday this week, so we got all those plans. So, I mean, everyone watching the show has probably seen the league, right? So I'm kind of growing into the, I have a massive kid's birthday party out at,
please make an event out of it.
And everything. We're doing the budget friendly. We're going to go to the pumpkin patch, so my house kind of stays together, right? But I find myself, and I think the first time doing the, okay, I got Discord questions I want to get to. I got my own lineups and news I want to see. So I have the kid's birthday party and sneaking the news on the phone situation and talking with random parents who I see the dad totally has Sleeper up on his phone too. So I got that tomorrow. I'm stoked for it.
I love it. Just finally starting to get a little bit fall over here on Long Island. So hopefully we can, I'm going to be in fall cleanup mode this weekend. So it's going to be fun. So much fun.
Yeah.
So for those that have missed the last few weeks, tonight we're going to be doing things slightly different as always. We're going to be doing basically, we're not going to be doing the full breakdowns anymore. We're going to be doing
Sup, Joe?
We're going to be doing start sit questions instead. So just throw your questions in the chat. We are here for you guys tonight. We're going to go through some injuries and go through some news and just get through all that. And then we're going to start answering your questions. So throw all your questions in the chat. We're going to be here for about an hour or so based on your questions. So please make sure you guys throw those in the chat and we will get to it. Just a quick disclaimer for everybody. Just when you're posting your questions, just try to include the format, the scoring, make sure it's either full, half, non-PPR, tight end premium, things like that. Give us an idea of how many teams and things like that. It gives us a better understanding of how to answer your question. So make sure you guys throw those questions in the chat. If you want your question answered right away, throw us a super chat. We need to keep the lights on. So if anything, throw us that and we will get to your question right away. We will stop everything just to speak to you. All right. So let's go and break down some of the news that we have today. Biggest news, Jaden Daniels, he's going to be out this particular weekend with his knee injury. I'd expect it to be another week or so. So just, at least another 2 weeks, I would assume. Just have a backup in place. Mariota is going to be taking his spot this coming week. Justin Fields in concussion protocol. He had a full week of practice. He was full. It looks like he's good to go. He still has to clear by tomorrow. So just keep an ear out. He has to clear, I think, by 4:00 Eastern time. So just keep an eye out in the Discord. For those that aren't in the Discord, make sure you guys join below. I do put up live updates and live injury news as much as I can. I do the best I can to beat Sleeper. I'm not always perfect, but I do my best. Brock Purdy, he's going to have he was limited all week, but he's now off the injury report. It looks like Brock Purdy's playing. Are we excited about this weekend? Is it better than a Mac Jones scenario?
I hate to say they're probably about the same, but I don't know. I don't know the extent of how much the toe is better, but he's still going to be feeling it. But I'm a pretty big fan of Purdy in that offense. I think CMC is the cheat code for a lot of offenses in quarterbacks. So I think I'm probably higher than market on Purdy. I'm pretty excited for it. I got a lot of Ricky Pearsall, and I think he's got an underrated deep ball, and I think Ricky could do some damage. I think maybe Pearsall could become like the cheap, the poor man's JSN. Really nice ADOT, just critical on third down. So as a heavily invested San Fran guy, I'm pretty fired up about it.
Nice. So let's get to the running backs today. Bill Krosky-Merritt, he is questionable. He was full practice today, but did not practice Wednesday and Thursday with I forgot I think it's a knee injury. I didn't list it. I put that he was questionable. He's listed as questionable either way. So keep an eye on the injury reports and check in with me on Sunday morning while I do actives and inactives. Josh Jacobs, ankle, he's off the injury report, but be aware that he was on the injury report for this week. DeAndre Swift, he was limited all week. He is listed as questionable and he should play, but he's listed as questionable. Chuba Hubbard has a calf injury. He was added to the report on Thursday. He was limited on Thursday and Friday. So just keep that in mind. He will probably play, but that, we'll see what happens on Sunday morning. Jaylen Warren, he was added as well. So he had a vet day on Wednesday, and then they added the knee on Thursday. He was limited on Thursday and on Friday. So just be aware of that. They do play in Dublin at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific a.m. So just be aware of that prior to. Tyrone Tracy, he's going to be out multiple weeks. Just know that in advance. If you didn't know that already, I'm surprised. But I'm really surprised he wasn't on IR, to be quite honest. I thought they might take that move and do that. So next, wide receiver stuff. Jordan Addison, he's been activated. He is going to be playing in Dublin. So for those that waited, you have your time to play him. Xavier Worthy had a full week of practice. He's a full go. He will be playing this weekend. It's already been told by Andy Reid. He's good to go against Baltimore. Chris Godwin, ankle. He was a full practice. They said he has a very good chance of playing this week. So just be aware that helps them with Mike Evans being currently out with his hamstring injury. Devontae Adams scared people this week, to say the least. Limited Wednesday and Thursday. He had he didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday. Limited on Friday. Right now he's very questionable, and he's a 4:30 game. So just be aware of that. Ricky Pearsall, he showed up. He's fine. He had knee soreness. He didn't practice for a day or two, but he should be playing. T-Mac. He was limited Thursday and Friday with a calf injury. He should be good to go as well. Terry McLaurin is going to be out with a quad injury. There's no surgery, so he's going to be more week to week. So just be aware. Juwan Jennings, he did not practice Wednesday or Thursday, but limited on Friday. Now this one's going to go quicker because there's not many tight end injuries. Tucker Kraft, he's good to go. He had limited practice, but he's good. Theo Johnson, he's good. And Isaiah Likely, he had a full practice today. He is listed as questionable. John Harbaugh didn't really John Harbaugh was very coy about if he might play. So I would hold back expectations, but that will be a Sunday morning decision. I'm not going to be recommending people playing him at this point. I would kind of hold him on your bench and wait. So those are the little bits of news and notes for you guys just to have an idea of what's going on. If you guys ever want to know and have up-to-date stuff, go into the Discord that's listed below. I pretty much post as quick as I can on injuries so that you guys can make the best decisions prior to everybody else. I like being that guy that goes that, like, I picked up Isaiah Likely the minute it, like, went on, and I, like, made some moves to, like, get him in. And I wanted people to, like, get me and go, how did you know so quickly? That's why. So let's get things started. Let's get to your questions. Make sure those that are in the chat, throw those questions in the live stream so that we can start answering your questions.
Yeah, got a decent amount already as well, and I might hop on next here. We'll see what we can grab from the shooting gallery over next. What's being talked about, but this is a spicy one.
So Trey Tucker or Jamar Chase? Seriously, Tucker number 1 in this league, non-PPR
standard league.
Okay, I'm never going to tell somebody to play Trey Tucker over Jamar Chase. I can't do it. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
I don't think I can do it either.
I understand your predicament. I understand the concept. Jake Browning did not show us anything special this week. It's very scary. I have Jamar Chase dropped in my rankings. It's not like he's number 1 anymore. I have him at 6. Might drop him down to 10. The whole point is that at this point, I am not going to be playing a guy like Trey Tucker over 1 game.
Yeah, and we've seen this before with Trey Tucker, right? We haven't seen this level of explosion, but I was actually one that I don't think I played him very often last year, but in some DFS lineups where I thought the matchup was right, Trey Tucker was someone I did scout a little bit in the draft process as someone that you should keep an eye on because he's undersized, but he's pretty good athlete, right? And you never know how that's gonna shake out. I think he's just a byproduct of Geno actually has pretty reasonable ADOT, right? Or not ADOT. His yards per attempt is up there. I'm an unfortunate Bowers owner, right? It's kind of sad face right now. But when you're actually watching, so I got in, and unfortunately I took a few too many clicks of Genty, honestly for fun in my like super low buy-in leagues where I just kind of want to own him for cheap instead of like my 100 plus buy-in leagues, right? So unfortunately I'm watching a lot of Raiders. I mean, I'm watching the Raiders this week for obvious reasons, right? But I've been on them for a minute, and Geno comfortably does throw the ball deep. He's just fine doing it, and I think they're pretty well set up to do it. That was just the perfect storm. I think I'm trying you remember trying to think of another comparison to it, but he's the type of player where you're never going to know when to play him. So from a roster management standpoint, I'm not going crazy on Trey Tucker because what happens if he goes less than 5 points 2 weeks in a row? And you're going to drop him just for him to Trey Tucker's the type of guy you could fab dump to drop to fab dump again, all within the same cycle. I think the challenge from an ownership standpoint is how do you roster that effectively and know when the points are coming? I don't think the answer is you'll know. And so that's why I'm going to have to go with not just Jamar Chase, but I'm kind of fading Trey Tucker in general, unless if you had one of those unfortunate, like I'm saying, if your first round pick was Genty and you're just in the big hole, there are some situations where I would take Trey Tucker as a comeback mechanism, as a do or die 0 or 20 type of guy. But Chase has just covered the spread way too much. And keep in mind, this is something I think for all the Jamar Chase questions that might come up in a little bit. It is worth noting that compared to T. Higgins gets the way worse side of things with Browning because Jamar Chase can do so much of his damage after the catch. They can design some things where they can kind of idiot proof it a little bit. They can run some screen games. And Jamar Chase is a lethal second level athlete once he's got the ball in his hands. T. Higgins can't. So for those reasons, Jamar Chase can do that better and more often than Trey Tucker. And that's an easy reason for him and players like him Deebo Samuel is in a similar boat. I hope we talk about him later on, but what he's able to do in the screen game with some injuries on that team is going to be pretty exciting, but wheels up on Chase still.
Yeah, for now. I can't play Trey Tucker, and I agree with everything you said. Trey Tucker at this point, he was a great guy to grab to have on your bench, but he's not someone you're playing unless you're a desperate scenario. He is the definition of boom bust, and it's one of those things where, he might have a good game against the Bears, who are 30th right now in the league against the pass. That doesn't mean anything to me right now. They're gonna. What
tells me, honestly, Classic, we're so bad against the pass. Why do you have to go to Trey Tucker? He's not your first option, right?
No, it's going to be Jacoby and it's going to be Bowers.
Why can't Jacoby and Bowers just have an easy I think Genty should maybe catch 4 or 5 passes tomorrow. Maybe I don't know. I mean, that could be a little crazy, but you know what I mean? Yeah, Trey Tucker excelled when everyone else was covered.
So Joe made a good point. Remember, standard league also 18 points for 40 yards plus the touchdowns. You can't predict the touchdowns. We're never going to give you that because honestly, we can't predict it. It's one of those things where we want to. If you want to go for it. But I don't think it's one of those scenarios where you can actually sit Chase. Like, we're not that bad yet. We can have that conversation about BTJ, who I would, if you said Trey Tucker or BTJ, I might give you a different response. And I'll saying I would.
Yeah. Over Jalen Waddle, who just has no ceiling and could fall out anytime. That's a guy I'd play Trey Tucker over for sure.
Yeah. So there are definitely some guys that I would, but Jamar Chase, unfortunately, is too high on the totem pole for me to be able to do something like that. Yeah. So
Chase also has the chance to score that 40-plus deep ball too. So he's a tough name there.
I mean, going against the Broncos, I get it. I understand, Patrick Surtain, all that stuff. Like, I get it. I understand your reasoning if you wanted to do it. Good, if you do it, by all means, I want you to come back next week and tell us about it, and especially if you win. But I would be very hesitant on doing that. Next, he goes Purdy or Baker.
Ooh.
I think I'm on the Baker side.
You're on the Baker side?
Yeah.
I am on I'm on the so I had Kyler over Baker. A friend of the show, Dr. Ken, was asking me this before the Thursday night game. Kyler versus Baker, and I'd have a good think about it for a little bit. I feel like Baker is just always good for 2 or 3 touchdowns, but I'm actually legitimately concerned that one, they have 2 good running backs. I know they're super banged up. I just feel like I just don't see how it comes all through the air.
We love you too, Joe.
As much on those. So I said I think Baker probably scores 1 or 2 touchdowns. It's at that 1.5 level for me. If Purdy's going up, Purdy's got better weapons, CMC, and he's got the Jaguars have had a pretty good defense, but I don't trust them long term. What's up, Albert? I'm running Purdy. I think Purdy. I think they also played it safe with him. I think Purdy's probably fully healthy, and I like the weapon. I like the Shanahan offensive system. I'm going to consistently place a bet that an already decent, not great, but good quarterback with Shanahan and enough weapons in a matchup, I think is more plus than people are giving it credit for. I'll take that over. I think Baker's great. But they're going to have to change up the way they play that offense. Baker really just it's not a question of what they're doing in the red zone. They're throwing it to Mike Evans every single time. They're going to have to play a little bit different. I just wonder if Bucky has 120 on the ground and Rachaad White has another 60, and they figure out a way to make that work somehow.
The only thing that I would say with this is they're playing the Eagles. Yes, Eagles are, they're 13th against QBs this year. While a team like the Jaguars are 12th. So these defenses are pretty even keel with that type of scenario. Good pass rushing for both teams to keep them honest. They have good secondaries for both teams for the most part, except for the Jags. But their front line is better than most, and it tends to get to the quarterback fast, so they don't need to have anything special on the outside. So I just like Baker just a smidge more. I like the fact that he'll use his legs a little more. I think Purdy's going to be a little nervous and, happy feet. I agree. He has more weapons around him for the most part. I do think with getting Godwin back, they're going to try to get him involved, and Baker's not bad at dumping off to Bucky, White, or Mbuka. And even Otten. So
you're less afraid of the matchup, though. I think our takes are split on.
Well, yeah, and honestly, they're only favored by 3.5. Like the Eagles and Bucks game, the Eagles are favored by 3.5. I don't mind that, and both games are. Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Both games are 3.5. Both games, and the other one, San Francisco, is the favorite. So for me, I kind of want the guy that's going to be behind trying to keep up comparatively to the guy that might be ahead.
I mean, Baker's definitely the better quarterback. I'm not going to make the argument. I actually really like Baker. I think he's just, because if it's a neutral matchup, I'm taking Baker almost every time, almost 100%. Regardless of the weapons. I guess, we'll see what the narrative is, right? So I guess I'm going to put a slight chip down that the Eagles defense has some magic, and you're going with that. They're going to have some magic, but they're also going to be up by 2 touchdowns. So we'll have to see.
Yeah. What's going on, Nino? Great to have you back there, brother. Can't wait to see your question. We got Ant in the house. What up?
Hey.
What up? What's going on, brother? Great to have you here tonight. We got Robert in the house. Robert Mitchell, Prophet. What's going on, man? Great to have you here for the show. He goes, Jacoby Myers, Genti, or Mbuka, or Junkins in the flex. Okay. Full PPR. My opponent put Olave in his flex. Now, I'm not going to lie. I don't give not to sound coy. I don't care who they have. Don't matter to me. I'm just looking at what you got, what you need.
Mm-hmm.
This
Although I get why he's saying it though, just from a standpoint of Olave versus Trey Tucker, I guess could be it might make a difference if you think you can be safe there or level.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be, if you're being safe, it's Junkins. If you're being a little bit more debonair, you're going Genty. Yeah. I mean, Mbuka's not a bad play either.
You want to eliminate two? Who's your first two out?
I mean, if you're picking from these four, I mean, you don't have a bad option. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is pretty good. I'm kicking Genty out first. I think Genty's not in consideration for me here.
I don't think I can't play Genty. I want to, but I can't. Junkins has been doing well lately. The matchup is okay, not great. They're going to be down. I mean, they have the Lions favored by 10 in this game. They did use him a lot in the past. They did use him, a little bit in the passing game last week.
Bit there.
So, I mean, let me just look at some real quick. I mean, he only had 2 targets for 1 catch. So it wasn't anything crazy for him.
I think full PPR, I'm going Egbuka.
Right. Oh, my other thought was Myers.
Yeah. I just don't want to do the running back in full PPR. I just don't like that they might just have 3. I want the wide receiver here. I don't see Judkins has the matchup nightmare where it's like the amount of times he scores 2 touchdowns is very thin. He needs to score 1 to have a good game. If he just has 88 on the ground and 1 catch, I mean, he's single digits maybe. So I have to go with the wide receiver. And to your point about the matchup, I think no matter how you slice it, Egbuka is just too damn good, and Baker's going to have a go-to. Baker's the type of quarterback who, when he finds something that's working, it's kind of like the Goff Amon-Ra. If it hits early, buckle up. It's going to get a little silly. I could see Egbuka having 11 targets for 8 catches. I think he can have that type of game very easily.
My only down tick with that is he will be going against Quentin Mitchell. He's not a shutdown guy, but he's good. Jacoby Myers is not going to have Jalen Johnson to be shadowing him. He's going to have either Stevenson or Gordon or somebody around him. Johnson's on IR. So it's one of those things where I feel a little bit more comfortable with it. They're going to be at home. They're favored by 1. So it's a close game already. 48-point over under. I like the Jacoby matchup just a smidge more. If they can stay in that game and keep it close, Jacoby is the better option. The safe plays are one of the running backs. That's just, I mean, I'm going to just say it. It's one of the Genty's got
his first great matchup, which honestly does get me a little excited. Not for the right reasons. I don't want it to happen, but I'm admitting it very well could happen.
I think you're going to have to go Jacoby, and it's just because I like the matchup a ton, but I mean, this matchup against the Bears isn't bad, but for Genty, 28th against the run. I mean, you can't. It's hard to pass something up like that. But he's not being involved in the passing game. They're not really happy with him in pass protection. So for now, you keep seeing guys like Dylan Lobby or Samir White out there for pass catching work. I like Jacoby a little bit more just because of the the situation that I said with the matchup. But I like Mbuka. I have him ranked higher. I have Mbuka ranked higher than Myers. I have him, which means he's higher than all of them. So I like Mbuka, but I'm going to rank him high because of his situation. He's been playing well. He's getting Chris Godwin back being hurt. He's essentially the number 1. They're going to have Sterling Shepard to pass the ball to as well. They have a lot more people there. It's a lot less for Jacoby. It's just a little, he's a little bit more higher on the totem pole for me. I think I'm going to go Jacoby.
All right, you got 2 competing takes there. Hopefully we're first and second out of that 4-pack.
See, but we need to have these. We need to have these because sometimes we are too.
We've had whole episodes where we're just lover birds over here.
Too much. We got to get out of that. Andrew, what's going on, man? He goes half-point PPR trade. Okay, Etienne or Quentin Johnston. Current running backs are Kamara, Henry, A-Chain, and Scatterboo.
Okay.
Wow. Very good group of guys. Wide receivers are Genty, Evans, DK Metcalf, and Wandell. Go for it.
I'm definitely doing that in your specific situation. Like throw value out the window. It's close enough where
close enough that I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah, that will definitely help out anything that you might need. So Raul, what's going on, man? Great to have you here. I love this question.
It's a good one.
Start Darter Carson Wentz.
So this
I'm going to let you take this one.
This one is actually so. I have this question in an actual league. It's a Dynasty league. I own Dart to Mike's chagrin, absolutely everywhere. You're so
chagrin?
Happy.
You love Dart.
No. I mean, you should be happy you're in not that many Dynasty leagues with me. Because I would be begging you over a barrel on this one weekly. It would be a lot
of fun. Sending me ridiculous trades.
Yeah, look, for me, this is Dart. I'm actually going Dart. The combination of one, you don't start rookies at a lot of positions too early, but I think in his particular case, he has enough legs to lean on just to get him over the hump on what is probably a small passing yard situation, just because rookies typically don't throw for volume. The fact that he's got those legs, he is just a mini cheat code. I saw enough out of his decision making in the preseason and what I saw of him to know I don't think he's going to rush 10 or more times. I don't think he's going to have 40 or 50 rushing yards, but I think his ability to just probably get 20, that makes him such a safe choice. And you know me, I'm a big Neighbors fan. We're both big Wandale fans, right? I actually think now that you've got Scadaboo, who seems to be able to do a very nice James Conner impression, where he's nice catching the ball, but he also really makes defenses say, like, no defense says, Cam Scadaboo just rushed 2 times in a row for 6 yards a carry. And for the rest of the game, it's a little bit trickier from a standpoint of how do you actually defend. It makes their offense a little bit more potent just overall when that's kind of working. So I think there's just the chance he's got good weapons, deep, intermediate, great run game, and a two-way player. There's a lot to like about that situation. And we've seen him play. And he's got legs if he gets some rookie jitters and maybe he needs to run. That's why we liked Kyler in his rookie year, because when he got scared, he'd run. Right, Fields is rookie year. He got scared. He'd run.
It still does.
And we still kind of talk shit about him as fantasy players, but not as NFL players. Sorry, but not as fantasy players. So give me some Dart there, man. You agree?
Yeah, I do like Dart a lot for this, even though this is going to be one of the matchups that you're going to be slightly disappointed with. You're not going to see him go for, like, based on your league, like, most standard leagues, like 25. Well, I'm using standard as, just a term, not the actual format. But, like, he could go for, on a good day versus a bad defense, probably in the 20s. He's probably only going to get you in the, the low teens, and it will probably be better what Wentz is going to be doing. Wentz did okay overall. He was 14 for 20, had 172 yards. That's not a horrible stat line, but they're going to lean on the run. And you know why? Because one of the teams in the league that they're facing, the Steelers, are horrible against the run. So they're going to just hand the ball off to, Jordan Mason and run it down their throat. This is going to be the week that you're going to start Dart. You're going to be upset. Do not drop him. He's got the Saints the next week. So give him a shot. I think he's worth at least starting this week and seeing what he can do over a guy like Wentz, who is mediocre at best.
Joe's got a good point here. Actually, Wentz in the sports books there.
I didn't read it.
Wentz's history coming in for injured quarterbacks is pretty good. When he said that, I looked back at his track record. Wentz is historically fantastic when he has to come in as backup. It's pretty.
Yeah, no, like I said, that's not a horrible stat line. 14 for 20 is a pretty good stat line. 179 yards is not bad. It's just I don't think I would start that over a guy that has a very high potential of just going crazy.
Yeah.
So
I'm realizing I'm a little biased, chat.
I'm biased. I'm the most biased here.
Well, you're pro Dart bias. So I was part of the Carson Wentz is going to be around. I was part of the OG. I owned Carson Wentz in Dynasty and had to live through that happening. And I'm not ready to be in Wentz's corner. It's a dark place for me. I don't want to go back there. So it's so hard. I'd have to really get my analytical brain on a little harder to look up the Wentz stats, but that's a fun one, man. That's one I'm just riding with my gut and feel. We'll see how it ends up.
Okay. Let's see what we got here. So Nino goes, actually, to add on to my Godwin take, I got sent an offer today. Trade away McBride and Diggs for Rashid, Pitts, and Godwin. Honestly,
Rice,
could use.
yeah.
Yeah, no. That did I say Ray? I did. I do that too often. For Rice. If it's tight end premium, though. If it's not, I don't think I would do it.
What are you doing at? You're getting Pitts back. Ugh. Their quarterback situation's so bad for Pitts. I don't even know if Pitts is. I don't even know if it's Pitts' fault either.
I'm probably not doing it though. It's just I'm not getting.
You're going from Diggs up to Rice and Godwin.
Yeah, but then you're losing McBride. That's a huge dip.
Nino, is this like
current running back or current wide receivers are Neighbors, Jacoby, Ellick, and Diggs.
I think your league is 2 wide receivers, 2 flex spots, right?
I don't know.
I'm asking because if it's a 3 wide, 2 flex league, you can kind of hide your tight end position because the amount of points your tight end scores compared to your overall roster is watered down, right?
You said redraft, no tight end premium. Yeah, 2-2.
Yeah, 2 and 2. Yeah, so I thought it was 2 and 2. Look at 2 and 2.
I wouldn't.
2 and 2 full PPR. You can hide McBride a little bit, but the thing is, man, McBride just looks kind of bulletproof. I think I'm against. Here's the take. If I'm doing it on my team, it's do you think you have the ability to still assemble kind of a really solid lineup plus McBride, or are you in the situation where you're in trouble and McBride's not good enough by himself? Like your roster as is needs some work because it's a 3rd or 4th place roster. You know what I mean? If you're in that camp where you're like, I am pretty good doesn't win championships and you just need to embrace some volatility, that's where I say go for it, right? But if you think you have because Diggs is going to get better. I know he's not been good right now, but Diggs is like a week 17 play. Can he get there eventually over the course of some time? Maybe not.
I can't do it.
We'll have to see. Yeah, I think it's a roster build situation though. To
Still
really
can't do it.
If it's one of my good teams, I can't do it. If my team can probably win, there's no
it's redraft. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking a guy on that's coming back from a gruesome injury that had many setbacks, and a guy that's coming. I mean, the guy off suspension coming off an ACL, MCL. Well, no, he had a LCL and something else, but it doesn't really matter. He's coming off his own injury, and then you're getting Kyle Pitts on top of that. That's essentially you're getting very risky players for 2 guys, or at least 1 guy.
I'm barely rostering Pitts. I think there's almost there's better options.
I have Pitts everywhere. I don't mind him. They haven't had a good couple of weeks to be able to use him the way they want to. The matchups just aren't there. They're just not. Penix is just having a rough time. Some, especially from last week going against Carolina. I mean, they pretty much just chewed him up and spit him out. Like of all teams, like scares me a little bit. But he did good. The last few weeks they get him involved, but it's not as much as someone like McBride. You're losing a ton doing that. I'm not doing this in any way.
Quite a bit.
I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. If you're 0-3, though, I am doing it though. I'm just gonna the last little.
I wouldn't do it even 0-3. I would just keep my team and run with it because then I'm just helping somebody and that's just not cool. I just can't do it. So Amazon Pancakes. What's going on, man? He goes, I just offered a trade in my 10-team half PPR or half point PPR. Ladd McConkey and Zach Charbonnet for Trey Benson and Jordan Addison. My other running backs are Bucky, Hampton, Henderson, and Mason. Okay. So Ladd for Trey. So you're adding Trey. Okay. I don't hate that. I like that trade actually.
We were offered. We were getting Ladd. Yeah, which side
is getting? So Ladd McConkey and Zach Charbonnet for Trey Benson and Jordan Mason.
I'm kind of I'm not super in on Trey Benson. I think is probably my part of the question. It's mostly because I think the Cardinals are just not good. And
agreed, 100%.
Like Benson, I'm not anti Trey Benson. It's more like he's not good enough to do really well in his situation. I think he's just kind of serviceable. We'll see what he can do next year if the whole team elevates. But I'm not sold on him just being a consistent like.
They need to get rid of Kyler.
The Cleveland Browns are a pretty bad team, but Judkins is good enough as a talent, I think, to like make something happen. I think I've seen that. Benson, I'm just not there. He's had enough opportunity to kind of maybe be nice. He's more of a PPR type of thing where he can catch enough passes. I was anti-Ladd originally. I think it's honestly selling a little bit too low on Ladd, perhaps, is where I'm on that one.
He's got Chase, Mbuka, Ridley, and Illuminor.
And Ellick.
Yeah. So, I mean, I like the trade. I don't hate it. I don't mind having Benson and Addison as my two guys, the two guys I'm getting from this and getting rid of those other two. Zach is doing well. You can see the uptick in his particular snap rate. It's more of a 50-50 thing right now with him and Kenneth Walker. That's the only thing. I know that Benson's going to have the majority of the carries all the time compared to the guy that's going to maybe get the carries 50% of the time. And a guy like McConkey, who has been doing okay, but not fantastic of what you drafted him for, and getting a guy like Jordan Addison, I don't want to say cheap, but getting him for a reasonable price where then he can be involved. And, he'll have McCarthy back in a week or two, and they had a good chemistry in preseason and they did well. I don't hate that. And I love the running back room with Benson in it. So I'm good with it.
Yeah. I don't think you're starting. Your running back room's so good, you're never starting either running back.
Probably not. But you're gonna get through buys. You're gonna have to get through buys. Buys gonna be the hard part because you're gonna have to make sure you have. That's why I don't mind it. I'd rather have more than less when I'm going through the bye weeks because I want to make sure I have the right combinations going through it. Because there's going to be situations where you're going to sit there and you're going to have to like figure out what you're doing.
I might just be low on Addison.
You're low on Addison, yeah.
If Justin Jefferson's pissing people off, I don't know why Addison's all of a sudden gonna like. Addison has to take targets that could go to Justin Jefferson. Like someone's got to not eat if they're only throwing 20 passes.
Wow.
I just can't do the math.
That's
Herbert's
part.
throwing the ball 40 times a game. Like there's
I know.
Targets
well, I'm
there.
not against it. Like I understand your view with that. I get it. I think the play is for. It looks like it's for Addison more than it is for McConkey, but it's a pretty even trade. So I'm not, I can swing one way or another.
It's a big rankings debate there. I think you have to individually. It's an interesting 2 for 2. Great trade craft. I think it's one of those like you got to think about that one a few different ways. You got to chew that gum for a bit. Good trade offer.
Yeah, I like it. So let's see if I can get this right. Isaac?
Is it Isaac?
Isaac? There we go. See, this is why I need you here. Isaac FFB, what's going on, man? He goes, would you trade Rome and JMO for Nico and Pickens? No.
I got Rome over Nico the rest of season.
Unfortunately, I like Nico a lot. And
if Nico can't score 20 fantasy points on 12 targets, there's something. And I'm an anti-Nico guy, but this one's not Nico's fault. It's just, dude, that Houston team can't do shit.
Thank you so much, Tyler. Great to have you here. He goes Dobbs.
It's gotta be Ellick. I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ellick, Godwin, or Trey Tucker. Pick one.
It's Romeo Dobbs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Packers do have a decent match.
I need a little bit more context because I would love to know if this is full or not.
Yeah, actually, that does.
That's my only bugaboo with this is I need to have a little bit of context.
We could probably answer both. Half versus PPR. Would it?
Yeah, I'll give you both, but I Dobbs is probably my best bet here, but it's also based. There's a couple of things that factor in for me. If you're the underdog currently, like let's just say you face like a combo of like Walker and JSN, or if you had like Murray and somebody else and you're way behind and you're trying to catch up, I would go Tucker. If it was more everyone 0-0, Dobbs.
Interesting matchup.
It's a very interesting matchup.
The first one, Trey Tucker's like kind of getting close for me.
Well, they're going against the Cowboys. They're going to be favored. They're favored by 6.5, and it's 47-point over under. So I mean, I like the matchup for the Green Bay Packers. I mean, this is a revenge game. Let's just be clear. This is this is Mika wanting to get Dak back. Like this is going to be a thing. So I know it's going to be excitement. It's Sunday night. It's fun. comparatively to the Raiders versus the Bears, which we've already talked about, which is a high overall percentage. It's going to be a closer game. Trey Tucker is definitely going to be a boom shot. Dobbs is more safe. He is definitely the safer option.
I think it's between the two. I'm
No, I can't go Godwin right now. I'm too scared of what's going to happen. And Alec is good, but not when he's with a guy that I don't trust. And they're not favored. Well, actually that helps them, but I'm not there. 38-point over under for that game. I'm just not in it. I want one of those other two. And like I said, if I'm shooting for the moon, Trey Tucker. If I'm being conservative, it's Dobbs.
Yeah. I think for my rankings have Dobbs higher.
My rankings are always going to have him higher.
I'm at that point where I'm like, is it so close that what am I going to feel worse? If
100%.
Like when Dobbs scores like 0.7 points higher than Trey Tucker, okay. But when Trey Tucker comes down with a 50-yard touchdown, I'm just not going to be able to live with myself because Dobbs is not going to be that guy. Matthew Golden's a start of the week for me. I'm playing him everywhere, but I think that means Dobbs maybe. I'm going Trey Tucker. Screw it. I needed to find a Trey Tucker start. I found one. I would do it in this case.
I mean, my only thing that I'm going to say, I don't mind Tucker. I have Tucker ranked at like 49 and I have Dobbs at 42. It's not like I'm not splitting hairs here. I like Tucker's situation, so I'm not against him. I'm not against it playing, but like I said, I'm going to still use the caveat. Trey Tucker is your boom. Dobbs is more of your safe. He's just safe because he's going to be involved in one way or another. If they're up, they're going to involve him. If they're down, they're going to involve him because he's always on the field. He's on the field more than all the other ones. So
I hope Trey Tucker is a good play because both teams the Bears secondary sucks, but if Caleb is good, finally, that means Trey Tucker actually has to be the comeback mechanism, which would be such a fun place for the Bears to be in.
He's ramped up his targets the last few weeks. He was 3, 8, and 9. He's had an average of 6 targets per game with 13 catches out of 20. So that's a pretty good. And then he had 3 of his touchdowns in one game. So it's not like I get why people want to play him. It makes
snap
sense.
share is not the snap share that a speedster gets to. Speedsters don't get 85+% snaps, and he's just living on the field, man.
Well, I mean, he plays more in three wide. I mean, that's just how the team is and how he's built. He's not built to be an outside guy. It's just not who he is. He's out there 62% of the time, so he's out there more than everybody else at this point. Or no, he's tied with Jacoby at 62. So,
yeah. Alec's out for me because he's touchdown dependent. There's no case for volume, and there's honestly not a high percentage chance for a touchdown. He's why he's the easy out.
Him and Godwin's, were out. For me. It was
Godwin's injury is so bad. I couldn't even consider Godwin at this particular juncture.
Nope. So yeah, I'm gonna go Trey too. I mean, you kind of talked me into it, but go with Trey. He might be the better choice for you.
Drink heavily during that game, though.
Sunday night. Oh yeah, well, you're already going to be doing that Sunday afternoon. So who would you start between Addison, Worthy, Mooney, or Bill from my flex spot? Full PPR, mind you.
Ooh, might be a first spicy take. You got to hit your answer first. I don't think you're going to like mine.
You're going to say Mooney.
I'm not.
Interesting. I'm going to go Worthy.
I'm going Worthy. I'm fully in on Worthy, man.
Yeah, they're going to get him involved early. They're going to try to get him, the ball as quickly as possible. I don't have I have to move Worthy up a little bit in my rankings. Oh, a lot of it actually. But I think they're going to involve him a lot more because they had so many packages set up for him in the first game. They were even saying the whole game was made for him.
Yeah, I think they gave some of those plays straight up to Tyquan Thornton. Yeah. And they seem to have a lot of these deep balls just schemed up and ready to roll. And it's gonna happen. He only needs one catch, man. Give me. I did not think you were gonna go Worthy, man. I've been
no, I have Worthy in a lot of spots.
I hang out with Phil too much, and Phil is the lowest on Worthy.
Addison is probably if I'm ranking this, it's Worthy, Addison, and then Mooney, and then Bill unfortunately has to take a backseat with the injury. So I think right now I want to wait and see what Addison can do with Wentz But like I said before, 20, or like you said before, you're throwing it 20 times and only, there was only 14 catches out of that whole game at 179 yards out of that. I don't know if I want that again. I would, and it looks like a game that they're going to just run the damn ball because Pittsburgh can't stop the run. So I'm pretty comfortable with going a guy like Worthy, because if Baltimore's up, which they could be, they're going to have to fight back, and the only way to do that is passing the ball. So,
yeah,
I like it. So let's keep this ball rolling. We got KJ Fendrick. What's going on, man? Great to have you here tonight. He goes, "What's up, guys?" What's up, KJ? He goes, "Better wide receiver flex start, BTJ or Juwan Jennings. Can also pick up Wandell, Kirk, or Thornton off of waivers if anybody of them are a better play. Full PPR."
I'm still going BTJ with the target share. I think they're going to be coming from behind. It's one thing to be playing bad, but it's another thing to look around and be like, yeah, because he's going to lose his job to some other guy. I think he's too. NFL teams still practice, right? We watch them on Sunday. Okay, someone needs to look me in the eye and say, yeah, on the practice field, the other wide receivers are like just as good as BTJ. Like he had a bad game or two, but in practice, everybody in the room knows who the most talented, best wide receiver is because they practice more than they play games. Yeah. Right? It doesn't take an athlete who's played sports to know, like, dude, y'all, if your best player has a bad game, like, the team doesn't want to go away from the best player. That team knows they're fucked if they don't get that best player going. Right? They're going to find a way to get him going because they can't. The other option is death. Just sell the team. It's actually over. There is no other option, right? We're fantasy players. We have options. We can put stuff like this on a show and say, hey, should we sit BTJ? Because we can talk about that. The Jacksonville Jaguars can't have that conversation. And I don't think they win this game. So I think BTJ is going to have to make something work. The Houston Texans suck, right? They still throw the ball 14 times a game to Nico Collins. That's probably what I see BTJ having, even in a down game. I think BTJ is higher in the rest of season than Marvin Harrison for me. Marv just got right, and we were all ready to bury Marv, right? We already had completely buried him, and he still had a bad drop that game too.
Oh,
but like,
God,
he did his thing. Thank
drop.
God for him. It was actually kind of cool seeing him get a little emotional when he finally came down with it, which is kind of cool. I appreciated watching that abysmal game for that moment. But so that is why BTJ.
So, Mark, give me 1 sec. We're going to answer your question. My answer is BTJ. I mean, it's simple for that one. You can't not play him. So, Mark G, thank you for the super chat. Really do appreciate it. He goes 12-team Dynasty. Now, this is Kendall's bread and butter. Start 10.
Okay.
Trade Jetta for Nico and Rice. Other wide receivers are Drake and Buka Pickens.
Nice.
Also trade Daniel Jones for a second or hold.
Cool. Let's take the second part of that question first. I'm holding. I have this exact premise in 3 of my leagues right now, where I'm holding DJ. Here, the idea is it's a really simple sort of market. Think like when you win, how much do you win by on the stock market leverage? When the stock goes up, how much does it go up? Right. If it goes down, how much does it go down? Right. Mm-hmm. With what he's done recently, if he stays around, like if he's the starter next year, all of a sudden we'll be willing to go there on Daniel Jones. Everyone in the community will. It's kind of like how some people, I sold Chase Brown a little bit early because I thought for sure his hype does not last through the offseason, doesn't last through the draft, right? I faded the draft because I thought this running back, like he's going to get screwed in the draft, right? I don't think DJ gets screwed. I don't think there's enough ways to do it. I think he's done it enough for long enough where even the team didn't have massive expectations and all of a sudden they're clicking on all fronts. I'm not saying I'm like their believer on DJ, but I'm saying his mid-range outcome right now, if he can hold the job, and he clearly will at this point, is wait till the offseason and watch the difference in offers. It's going to be bare minimum a first. It's just going to be. I remember having to buy Derek Carr like 5 years ago for a first, and it felt gross, but the QB market just kind of just is, man, right? Yeah. So you've owned him for long enough, clearly, to be considering the second. I've been in that exact position. No, it's definitely a hold. It could go a lot higher. It could force you to not overspend. If everybody has someone that owns Joe Burrow in Dynasty. Glad it's not you, but it could be you at some point in time. And having the DJs or the Sam Darnolds that can kind of just luck into sticking around can stop you from burning an entire first to fix a mistake, right? So think of the stop loss that you gain by holding him. It's also a secret get out of jail free card. Keep that in mind when calculating the value here. For the Jettas, for Nico and Rice, there's kind of like, for me, there's like there's two takes. I think Jettas, I'm going to say I'm pretty seriously considering it. I just like other trades better. My bigger question too
I can agree with that.
I think there's other pieces you can go get. I think Nico is a little bit of a buy low because that team and that line can't get any worse. They have 2 good wide receivers, so when they fix the line, Nico doesn't have to stay the guy, though, is my biggest thing. He is now, but I don't know how long it stays. Rice is clearly the long-term value there. He's going to be tied to Mahomes. He's going to be fantastic for a very long time. That's
why I like it, because I can't be tied to JJ McCarthy. I can't. I'm done.
Yeah.
I don't care how good Jetta is. I'd rather be in a situation where I know for at least the next 3 years, regardless of the Higgins and Noel Noel, that's fine. I don't care about that. Rice is going to be fine for the next 3 years at the very least with Mahomes. And we're always thinking that 3-year window. Jetta, for me, he's going to be with McCarthy for the next at least 3 years. Unless they can develop some in the next couple of years. I really like Kevin O'Connell. I think they can get some going, but not this year. I don't see it yet. I haven't seen anything that makes me excited to have him on my team. If I'm looking to trade him, I'm going to try. And in this case, you're getting a decent return for your value. And you already have Drake and Ibuka, who are great picks to have, and Pickens, which I don't agree with, but it is what it is. And at least you kind of build up your wide receiver group a lot, because I think that helps solidify your whole wide receiver team in general.
It's start 10. Start 10 is a big difference than start 9, because depth absolutely matters. It just tells, and it gives you trade flexibility in the future. If I'm looking at a 3-year window here, Mark, here's where I like Mike's side of the coin. And I'm giving a really in-depth answer because Dynasty is not about the first move. It's chess. It's about what's the next 3 moves you're going to make from this move. Here's the thing. You are buying low on Nico, and in a 3-year window, literally his value is probably going to be the lowest it's going to be. Because if the team gets better, even if the target share gets a smaller pie, it's a better pie. It's got more red zone upside. Rice is probably going to be, by the end of this year, you offer 2 firsts for Rice, and it's a flat turn down. He's going to be worth more than 2 firsts.
Yep.
I think JJ's value converges down from the 4 firsts that he was bare minimum going for. He's probably in the I'm kind of nervous about the future. If everyone has a narrative that they're nervous about the future, it's hard to find a market to get what he's worth. This is a situation where you can get what he's worth from assets that are young, appreciating, and are kind of in somewhat buy low windows. Here's my question, Mark. Why can't we get a couple thirds attached to it? At least in my experience, when you're buying a massive asset or selling a massive asset, one of the underrated things is
grab a third.
If you're buying a $500 PlayStation, you don't think about the little accessories that make it go from $500 to $575. In trades, though, those are still objectively valuable. If you can go pick up a second or 2 thirds on top of this trade, right? If I'm buying Justin Jefferson, if I'm into this trade, if I'm offering you Nico and Rice because I want JJ, if I all of a sudden don't want to do the deal because of a mid to late second or 2 thirds, I was never in the trade in the first place, right? Mm-hmm. No deal I ever put across the table is probably worth fully breaking up over a couple thirds at this level. So I'm saying get that extra 2-3% value, grab yourself. Most people think thirds are shitty anyway. So if you can get a 26 and a 27 third on top of this, that when the draft pick is on the board, you can sell for a future second and you can start spinning that into a tangible piece of value. I think those are important in long-term in Dynasty. So do the deal. I'm with Mike on that one, but get a little bit more, get 5% more. And I think then it's a real slam dunk, and go buy some lottery tickets.
100%.
Yeah. You buy enough thirds and fourths, you're going to get some Woody Marks. You're going to get some things like that happen.
Yeah. I like those. I like that idea. Nino goes over under 2.5 cracked helmets in the Chargers Giants game. I'm going to go under 2 point. I'm going to go under and probably make it 2. It will be a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. How many mini helmets in your office are you going to be smashing? That's the question. You got a lot riding on that game for.
Thankfully, I don't have a lot of mini helmets. I have big helmets. I have like the monster. I always get the full size helmet. I never get the mini one. Don't know why. So Big Rice Ball, what's going on, man? He goes, lost CeeDee Lamb. Sorry, brother. Traded ETN for Tet. Thoughts on that trade?
Lost CeeDee. Traded ETN for Tet.
I don't hate it, but I don't think it's going to really help you long term. It's going to help you in the short term, and you now, I mean, if you're going to have CeeDee and Tet long term for the rest of the year, okay, that's fine. But as long as your running back room is, pretty solid, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm guessing based on how most running back rooms work, right? If you're doing this deal, you lost CeeDee, you're looking to see what you can do. If you were thin on running back, I just don't think you would start going down this trade. I think you'd look at other stuff. So I'm guessing that ETN's probably his RB3.
Yeah,
and he's pretty solid. At that point, I do like it, only because Tet feels like a little bit of a, I say buy low because he's still a rookie, and rookies still get better and better in their rookie season. It used to be a year 2 breakout. Now we think they're going to be just dope by week 4. I just don't think it works that way. So if people are selling Tet based on his PPG right now, I think you can just pencil it in, and that's going to go up by a couple percentage points. And I think that's going to make some sense. So I actually like the deal, but only if you can afford it. I'm a big Bashal Tutin guy as well. I think ETN's been phenomenal to start the year. I just think that team would prefer to have a more balanced approach and have them both be good parts of the offense, and much to the chagrin of like Kenneth Walker owners. Charbonnet's a talented running back. He was have a high pedigree draft capital guy. It's just going to be around. I think Bashal Tutin's probably going to do that to ETN. It's been all the ETN show. Keep in mind that rookie running backs typically produce the most pretty quickly. So I think if Bashal goes up a little bit, it could eat into ETN in a way that you would wish you had done this deal. So yeah, I'm good with it.
Also, start 2 QBs this week: T-Law, Dak, Jackson, Dart. It's Law and Dart for me, even though I don't like Dart, or I don't like T-Law.
I can't trust T-Law yet. I think he's the problem.
I can't trust Dak to save my life. He's going to be running for his life.
I'm going Dart. I actually have a lot of confidence in Dart.
Dart is my only. Do. Dak is. I just can't play Dak.
Dayball's not an idiot. I know he's
agreed.
We look at him a little bit less than when he was on the Bills, but I just don't think he's a bad coach. And there's no way he would. He's enough of an adult in the room, right? Where there's no way he would put a rookie in this situation if he wasn't sure.
Yeah, they said they had like a 10-hour meeting of trying to figure out what was going to happen, how it was going to be. And, he sat both down, had a good conversation with everybody. Russ took it like a pro, so on and so forth. That's fine. And you know what? I get it. I'm all on board. I'll be the first one to say that I didn't want Dart starting until like after week 8. I was hoping that would be the case, but I knew that it was one of those scenarios that if we went real bad, real quick, 0-3 start, that's bad, and they're trying to save their job. But at the same time, I don't know how it's saving your job, but he did go all in for a guy that he wanted to work with. So give him the opportunity, see what happens. Give him a big stage. In this case, it's not. It's a 1:00 game against a West Coast team coming east. That helps, believe it or not. And it's a good defense and a good team to kind of get his chops and get everything going and see what he can do. And then just roll with it and just see what happens. They can't they can't go back and forth all year. They have to stick with it and, do what they're going to do. So I like Dart here. I like T-Law. I like the matchup a little bit, somewhat better. The Dak game, man, I'm telling you, Dak's going to be having a rough day. Rough day. The Packers defense is really no joke. Without CeeDee Lamb, Dak, if you look at the numbers with and without CeeDee Lamb, it's night and day. T-Law at least has weapons around him. He can still be involved. It might be the 49ers, but at least it's a little bit better than the Dak situation.
I could see pace of play being an issue in that game too. Yeah. If the Packers want to, they can make that game.
They can slow that down
minutes,
to nothing.
They can just run and run and run and then run some more. Jacobs could have 35 carries, man. It could happen.
It could. We'll see. I doubt it, but he's hurt. So Noah Mitchell goes, what running back should I target when trading either Ladd, BTJ, or Adams? Need a running back bad.
Trading either Ladd, BTJ, or
I mean, in
Adams.
redraft, you could probably get guys like Brees Hall, Chase Brown, Scadaboo,
Trying to look at my buy low window
Travis
here.
Etienne, Junkins,
When trading Ladd, BTJ
Swift,
Adams. I mean, these are good names to throw out there.
David Montgomery. Like, those are the ones I keep thinking, because they're not doing that great in fantasy currently.
I'll give a couple high end names. So here's the thing, Noah. Just a quick, like, without player advice, like type of strategy here.
Without knowing. Yeah.
Make sure you're sending a lot of offers. Right. The worst thing you can do is send 2 offers and maybe one gets done. But if you sent them 4 more offers, maybe there was a better trade out there. So just be prepared to do the work. Don't blast bad trades. You know, this is why keeping good trade etiquette and good trade dialogue, always thanking people for the trade. Don't be mean. Like, it opens the windows of dialogue. You're going to need to target a lot of different, owners here. On the high end, I don't think you get it done, but you've got some names there. I mean, you've got Ladd, Adams. If you can try to grab a Hampton, I don't think you're going to get it done, but I would give it a shot. I think Genty's too talented not to do something, but the owners are really starting to worry. I think that's a level you could probably go for there as well. Chase Brown is a buy low window for me. I mean, it's been awful, but I don't think statistically I've never seen someone go from being that usage and good to being that. It's like it's never happened. I'm not saying he's going to be in a great situation, but I do think it's a fine buy low that should get better. Brees, I think Miami—that's a really good name. He played bad when they had a bad quarterback and bad stuff. Yeah. But I think we all got really excited because he passed the eye test finally. He was like, he hasn't looked good in a minute, and he looked very, very good. So I think that's probably my favorite name that you've thrown out there. Scadaboo feels pretty fantastic, but I don't think the Scadaboo owner is going to sell. He feels too good. He's too likable. It's hard to trade for likable guys because no one wants to be the guy that dropped a likable and like I want to have his jersey type of guy. And then Judkins, Mike, you throw some really good names there. Judkins, just don't overpay for him, but I think the usage is probably going to be there.
Honestly, I just went to the middle of my rankings and just because that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at the guys that are in the 18, anywhere between the 15 and 20, or 15 to 30 range. That's about what you're going to get. I mean, and that you'll be lucky to get that, to be quite honest. I mean, you have a bunch of these guys that are living currently in the, where is BTJ is currently wide receiver 47, and Ladd is not too far behind that. So you're in a situation where that's standard. Let's go full. Either way, I think it's the same. Like I don't see him being a name out there. Ladd is 43, BTJ is 55. I mean, you're not going to get a lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Ladd's such a good name. The idea is like the guy who didn't draft Ladd, you don't know if they were like me and who was off of Ladd, or there was somebody who people love Ladd. I'm saying he's likable. If you don't own him, you might not be looking at how underperforming he's been. Right. So sometimes sell a name, even though the production's bad, because some people might not even believe the production's been that bad. I think Ladd's the name to sell. Would you do, Mike? I'm curious. Would you go as low as Hendy on the maybe he explodes at some point, or is that too low for those names?
Too low for the name.
Yeah. I think I agree.
I like Henderson.
I think that's a mistake.
Too low until Henderson starts. You can't. No.
Yeah, it's a little too
no.
low.
So
cool. Try those first, right? You don't, and I think a lot of people do this where they don't send a trade offer like here's your lowest tier guy. Like make sure you try and get feedback.
Try the high. Yeah, always aim for the ceiling before you get to the floor. Yeah, and KJ made a couple of good options. Junkins, Travion, like he said. Like I said, I don't hate the Hendo, but I think you're getting too little. Scat, I don't mind, but right now you got to remember he's got to keep the gig when Tracy comes back. And that I do like the Mason pick. I think that's a good one as well. So we gave you a bunch of guys. I think those guys are very helpful.
Impactful, probably some names we're not saying, right? There's guys that are like fool's gold. So yeah.
So Cash Money, he goes, would you flex Mason or Adams? I'm starting Amon-Ra and Adunze at wide receiver, and running backs are HN and JT. Wow. Good for you. I'm high on Mason, but hate the early overseas games. and Adams is banged up. I would actually be okay flexing Madison, and I would put him in your full running back spot. Don't put him in your flex, but I would play Madison, and the only reason why is because it's a monster matchup against Pittsburgh Steelers. Games that are overseas usually do better with the running back than they do with anybody else. Defenses usually do okay too. I am preferred. I rather have Mason in this matchup. So Mason.
I'm going Mason for safety. When there's an
for sure.
When there's an injury risk at a position, you guys probably know I think the public overreacts to injury news generally when it comes to rankings.
Not like this.
But I was going to say, this is one, and again, I'm the don't believe the injury guy because I think it's a safe bet.
Hamstring injuries, man.
Well, when you're 32, 33 years old, it's different.
I'm almost 40. I feel those injuries.
And even like 32 is not 28. Like DK Metcalf gets banged up. I think 27, 28 is fine. Even 29 is okay. We're talking 32, and the guy takes care of himself, but it's you got to draw a line, right? Now, I think when a 32-year-old guy's a little bit banged up on a team that has other ways to win,
I would strongly be playing Mason regardless. Even if Adams was healthy, I'd feel if Adams was healthy, I'd feel a little bit more towards Adams just because full PPR, and I'm okay with that, and the matchup's okay too against the Colts. I think Kenny Moore is out in this game, so that helps him. Yeah. So I mean, in general, I don't mind that matchup, but in this particular situation, you're going Madison. You're gonna, be okay with the fact that it's an overseas game and go from there.
I get it though, man. The overseas games, I haven't had good luck with them either. I haven't looked at. I'll be the first to admit I haven't looked up the stats, guys. I know analyst over here hasn't done his homework, but I hear you. It's like Thursday games. They're just lower scoring sometimes.
No, they are. They're lower. They're not always that great. There's no favorite. There's really no favorite or underdog in these games because. Nothing outstanding because the games score a little lower, but you still get decent points. Running backs do pretty well.
You can have boring games where running backs score a lot of fantasy points, man. In fact, it's usually how it happens, right? So,
exactly.
Yeah.
So
good defense, offense that doesn't want to throw the ball with a starting running back that we like. I mean, you just take the names out, and put the situation and say the computer says in the history of fantasy this usually works. So yeah.
So flex 2. Full PPR, ETN, Alec, Golden, Higgins, or Hollywood. Now, for me, ETN is a lock. I'm locking him in.
Let's move past that. Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, we don't have to go into an hour debate about ETN. He is in. Everybody else, I'm a little bit unsure of. Hollywood with Worthy coming back. And probably takes a back seat.
Thornton's just a better player, man.
And I was gonna say, and then with that situation, Hollywood's kind of he's the old man in the group now. Alec is a safe play. Golden, I'm not trusting yet. I like what they've been doing with him, but I don't trust it because they're not really a really pass heavy team in general. I like Alec a little bit more, but he's Higgins is a better player, but Browning can't get his shit together.
I have a couple rosters that have Chase Brown and T. Higgins.
And it's going to be a math. It's going to be a monster match.
Like, I know for a fact there's not enough math for me to start both of these guys.
No. And on top of that, I mean, they're playing the Broncos. It's going to be Surtain and Ben Johnson, Hufanga. Like, they're going to have a rough day back there.
Who are you taking? I think you know my answer here. I'm pretty spicy this week on them.
If you're going to go Hollywood, I'd be surprised.
No, I'm going Golden for sure for me.
Really? I can't pull the trigger yet on Golden. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, and let me be clear. This is a little less analytical. If for any fans of Colin Cowherd, this is Manalytics, not analytics. This is me saying I want to hit the button. I think he gets in the end zone. I think they find a way to get him in the end zone. I think they've been trying to get him in the end zone. And it might be a jet sweep, man. This might be how like Rice and Worthy had some rando touchdowns.
He's averaging 2 targets a game. He has 6 catches on the year, 75% catch rate.
Going up.
I know his snap shares have gone up.
He hasn't looked bad though. Like
he hasn't looked bad, and his snap shares have gone up, but they don't throw the ball to him, and he's not involved in the offense yet. And they don't throw where you feel ever. they're not that type of team. Dallas, they're not going to need to throw the damn ball. Like, this is not going to be a game they're going to have to throw. The 32nd in the league against the wide receiver. I like that idea, but they're not going to be. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. I don't mind the Higgins poll, but it's just kind of a chalky.
Higgins feels like the math play. The math play says Higgins too good at football.
He's good. He's better talented than all these other guys. Yeah. The only guy that I would be okay and maybe try, I would maybe think about is Alec. I mean, the guy has been involved the last few weeks. He keeps getting more involved. He's currently, he's averaging 6 targets per game, which is pretty good for a rookie overall.
When you look at their target share numbers, that's extremely strong on a team that
he has the ball. Exactly, and he has 10 catches on 18 targets, which is not horrible either. And he's gotten 2 touchdowns throughout his time so far.
I mean, I don't like that your Alec take destroys my golden take, because you get to say
it really does.
He's on the field more. He catches the ball more in an offense that also doesn't pass the ball. I mean, the Alec Golden comparison makes me look very bad here. I have to admit that. I'm just going to come out and say that was the right way to win this argument.
So hold on. Let me do some mathing for you so you can see. Golden has only increased his snaps within the last 3 weeks. He went from 23 snaps, 40 to 46. So he's only going up a little bit. If you look at the Tennessee numbers and you look at his involvement a little more, he is at 52. He's averaged more than 50, or no, averaged more than 40, and he has been out there every single time in two wide set. He's the number 2. I am okay with Alec. Like, if you wanted to play ETN and Alec, I'd be okay with that. Like, I think that would be a good grouping of guys, and especially in the matchup. I mean, who are they play? They're playing the Texans. I think Stingley's out, if memory serves me right.
I believe so.
Stingley's questionable, but that doesn't mean anything to me, because then if he's hurt, they're still going to involve him. He'll be on Ridley 9 times out of 10 anyway. I think Alec is a good choice overall. Texans are, where are they? Low on my totem pole. Yeah, they're like 20th in, against the wide receiver. I don't hate the matchup. I'm going to go with Alec.
I don't have an analytical counterpoint. Yeah. I don't have one here. I'm
sorry. When I take the first question, if I take the second part of the question, like if I'm the second one to answer, I at least have a couple minutes to look everything up. Kendall's doing it off the.
I don't like when analysts always have but this, and I'm that guy. I literally always cut Mike off before the next question to try to get one more spicy take in there. I just don't have one. I'm telling you, this is a pure gut. Let me just call the narrative, and let me do a little sociology, psychology, and probably be wrong. But I'm losing my own money, so let's do it.
So, Mr. Magic, what's going on, brother? Great to have you here. He goes, what do I do with Chase Brown?
Hold. He's not a. I'm actively looking to buy him just because of the price tag.
The low dip. Yeah,
the price tag is honestly getting ridiculous right now, and I still think it's a little bit early. When I look at the narrative of how and why he's been bad, right? The quarterback play, not even like the way the quarterback. Sometimes when we say quarterback play, we auto think to how well they're throwing the ball. The quarterback literally takes the snap. It affects everything that's happening. How we're reading. The overall morale of the team. Are they a commanding leader in like the huddle? Right. I think he's bringing everybody down. But I'm just saying, like, give him a little bit of time. I don't think he was planning on being in this role right away.
No,
I think
he thought he would have Burrow for the whole season.
Right. The odds are, like, what are the odds he plays better or worse?
I mean, he's running back 31 on the year.
And I don't mean Chase Brown, I mean quarterback play. Like, do you think Browning gets better or gets worse? I would make the argument
he can only get better.
Anybody who you see it all the time where veterans kind of suck, but then they stay in the NFL. Right. And then just over the course of time, when they're called in, all of a sudden they're just competent. They're just good enough. I think Browning with enough snaps, while in practice, he's throwing the ball to T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. They're starting to get reps under their belt. Right. I think eventually, I'm not saying it's going to click, but I think it gets better. And it just needs to get a little bit better to unlock Chase Brown. No one fears the passing attack. All they have to do is at least respect it a little bit. And we can get some targets to Chase Brown. So hold.
he's had 11 targets total, averaging 3 targets. I'll round it up to 4 per game with 8 catches. I mean, that's not a bad stat line for a running back, especially for full PPR. Yeah, he's running back 31 on the year. Yes, everything else is not looking great. He's still leading the team in snaps. He's still out there a ton. He's still being given the ball in big situations. He's still their main guy. Their offensive line is garbage. That is the only thing that you have to kind of keep in mind. Am I a little nervous about him moving forward? Of course. I drafted him everywhere. He was a guy that I could get in the 3rd round that I felt comfortable being my RB1, and I was like, holy shit, I'm getting a fucking value. But at the end of the day, we can't predict a guy like Joe Burrow going down, and then that screws up the whole thing because Joe Burrow is part of that whole equation. And him being out for 3 months, yes, it does affect him, but you can't let him go because he is still a viable RB2. He is still someone you can start on a weekly basis, but unfortunately you have to lower expectations, and he's more of a low-end RB2 than a high-end RB2.
When we say, like, give it another week, we're not just, like, saying it to say it, right? The idea is 5 weeks into the season is very different than 3. I mean, it's just too small of a sample size with a team that had such a meteoric shift. If their stats didn't get wild and crazy for somebody, what we're going to say, Jake Browning to the moon, like that's something that happens every day, right? Like that shouldn't happen. So yeah, hold buddy. We're going to bring up this question again next week. This is one, watch the game. If you own a player like Chase Brown, right? Mike, you're watching every snap of every game to figure out, is it the team or is it my player?
Oh, 100%.
Right?
I try that all the time. It's always,
you know what I mean? Like, that's important. Like, honestly, that's one better way to answer the question. If you watch Chase Brown play, do you feel like he's the reason? Because when he's the reason, that's how Woody Marks can creep up and become a thing. Because look, we all love Nick Chubb, but he's just not that good anymore, right? He doesn't pass the eye test anymore. So, enough about Chase Brown, though, man. Nobody wants to, even he doesn't want to talk about Chase Brown, man. He probably wants to take other takes here.
So, Brosen, what's going on, man? He goes, Ladd, Tyreek, or Purcell? And I'm assuming this is full PPR, and we're only picking one.
I'm going Ricky.
Yeah, I'm going to be leaning Ricky as well. I don't mind the Ladd, though. I don't mind Ladd against the Giants. He's a strong candidate for number 2. I might even lean Ladd. Wait, what time are these games? 1 o'clock to 4. See, that's my only issue. Purcell is questionable, and they haven't really. He said he's ready to play, but it doesn't mean that he is. I'd be nervous to play a guy questionable without anybody on the back end, and then he would be forced to play Tyreek.
Yeah, I think the type of injury it is what doesn't worry me quite as much.
It's the knee.
No, it's a toe.
Purcell?
Isn't Pierce?
Last I checked, it was a knee. I could be wrong, but I do remember it being a knee.
Oh, it is knee.
Knee soreness.
He was dealing with the toe too.
No. So I mean, I wouldn't be nervous, and if he's telling you he's okay, then I get it, and especially if they're talking to normally, if you see them talking to players on Thursday and Friday, that means they're playing. That's just how it is. Unless there's an unfortunate situation that happens, they will play on that day. And I don't think people realize that as much as they think. If they're talking directly to the player prior to the game, that means they're playing. Because
they're not allowed to say anything if that's not.
They're not exactly. If they're not going to get a soundbite, it means they might not be playing. So,
yeah, he gets the dog narrative too. Like the guy got shot. He's a dog.
Yeah.
I think he can muscle. I get knee soreness as an injury type. Out of all the injury types out there, I think it's more understandable.
Yeah.
Right, hammy, something like that, shoulder. These are bad. These can also get you knocked out of the game. I can't see Ricky Pearsall's knee isn't. If he gets a knee injury, it's not going to go from sore to snapped. That's going to be a freak accident if it does. I was reading they saw Jennings was clearly being affected by the injury. He was limping around a little bit. So
Jennings is not good.
Kind of helped me out a little bit. Purdy back.
They are getting Demarcus Robinson back, which is kind of a big deal for them. And
suspension, not injury.
Exactly. Coming back from non-injury, he's going to be out there. He'll be healthy. He'll be good. He'll be running around like crazy.
I'm playing him in DFS, man.
And I'll play him in DFS.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
I like him as a
big
cheap
value.
He's a cheap anytime touchdown scorer. He likes the red
100%.
zone too. Yeah.
So I mean, he's good. I don't mind playing Ladd over Purcell here. I like the matchup overall. He's probably going to see a lot of Phillips. Phillips is more of our slot guy and does well, in that position. But I think Ladd can have him, especially if they're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be doing a lot of short stuff. They're going to be trying to keep that defense. I mean, Giants defense is legit overall. They do a very good job at rushing the passer. We saw this last week against Mahomes. But at the end of the day, they're going to do their best to neutralize that. What's the way you neutralize that is go to the, find the blitzer, put him short, and have McConkey just take these, these 5-yard outs and these quick little slants and have him involved. You're not going to be, you're not going to have enough time to go deep unless your line is built. Becton's going to be out for this game, so they're going to be less effective with the, middle of the field, which is where Dex lives. And it's going to be a tougher game because they're also moving Abdul Carter more inside as much as they can. So, and he's playing inside linebacker because they lost McFadden. So for them right now, they're just trying to find the right groove. And at this point, I don't mind Ladd at all. So I think I'd lean Ladd.
If the plan is Abdul Carter, it could be a problem. We need Herbert for the playoffs. The game is we're going to design and scheme around Herbert getting the ball out quick because this ain't worth it. We're probably going to win.
I think it's going to be a lot of quick out, and they're going to run the ball. I think they're going to run the ball as much as they can. They're going to set up it's their narrative. And honestly, the last 3 weeks, they have been higher than projected with pass in their
neutral game script passing is insane. Yeah, or the positive game script passing has been wild.
I think it's Adam Levitan. He put out a thing with like passes over.
I was reading that. I follow Adam a lot. I think he's a great guy.
Every week it's the Chargers, so you can't not see a world where you don't see. I have Mahomes and Herbert in one of my leagues. I have pretty much literally just switched them every week because of their matchup. And this week's matchup is they both had the Giants consecutively where it was 3-3. They held Mahomes pretty well, but I think the Chargers are a lot better than the Chiefs. I know that might be a spicy take, but they look better. Their defense is better. Their offense is better. I think Herbert overall is a pretty elite, quarterback. I like this kid when he came out of college. I like this kid when he was, on Hard Knocks. I liked what happened. Like I remember watching this kid just dropping dimes from 50 yards. Like
they looked so good too, man.
He was so good. So I'm gonna go Ladd. I'm definitely gonna go Ladd in this particular scenario. So ladies and gents, those are all the questions we have. If anyone else has any questions, please throw them in now. Otherwise, we are going to start wrapping things up. Make sure, for those that haven't already, please make sure you guys check out Underdog Fantasy. If you haven't already, please use promo code GETRIGHT. And when they do, right now, I did this again? No, it is. Play 5, get 50. So make sure you guys check that out for all new customers. That is their new thing. So when you register with Get Right, that's what you're going to get. So make sure you guys use that for your pick'ems. Also, make sure you guys check out all the other podcasts that we have here. We have the Extra Point with Phil. He's here every Tuesday. I know, Kendall, you're not going to see him as much here, but he's been helping us out a lot on the Get Right side. So don't stress too much. He will be having
in the Discord, man. I'm editorial over here, man. I
was going to say
managing that over there.
Always in the Discord, always answering your questions one way or another. I always try to get in there as well, but I'm always in there doing injury stuff and taking care of the news that's out there. So make sure you guys check out our Discord in the link below.
Yeah, between Mike's injuries, which seriously, like, it's nice to have a chat room of smart people around underreact. Like, it will tell you how your league mates are over and underreacting too. It's just a smart community. So between Mike's injury and news updates all in one spot, and then a bunch of us ready to answer questions, it's a nice to have right with your sleeper app. If you're doing a lineup thing, you want to have our Discord pulled up.
I pretty much have Discord open all day long, and I do my best to get you guys injury news as soon as it pops up. And I get it pretty much. I am at a 80% success rate of beating sleeper in most scenarios. It's according to who gets the news out. If it's an Adam Schefter or a Ian Rappaport, I'm pretty much shit out of luck because Sleeper usually grabs from them pretty quick. But if it's anybody else that puts out those breaking news type things that no one's really like, those beat writers, I got it. I got it, and I have the right app too. So I am the one that will get you those particular things. So yeah, make sure you can reach out to Joe as well. Joe's out there in the Discord. He'll help you guys out as well. But we're in that Discord all day. Same tag. I'm still, I'm Classic Mike in there, and Kendall's in there. You'll see him all over the place. Just look for the big paragraph. You'll find him. But otherwise, please make sure you guys are doing that. Get in that Discord. It's a great community. We really enjoy everybody that's in there. Also, make sure you guys, if I know leagues have started already, but keep in mind, TrophySmack.com, they have a great amount of options right now. They have this wonderful belt that you can customize, one of their best sellers, as well as their trophies that you can customize. They got this ring, which we customized for our 1,000 subscribers and gave that away. Also, our Kirk Cousins chain they got over there. They also have very underrated, a little pricey, but they have the helmet. I love the helmet. I love the idea. I have one sitting on my I don't have theirs. I created my own. But I have our league got a helmet trophy, and I have mine sitting on my mantle, and my wife loves it. No, she hates it. So otherwise, I don't see any other questions rolling in, so we're going to start wrapping this up. Really hope everyone tunes back in on Sunday morning. I will be here at 11 o'clock, which is roughly around halftime of the Sunday game. If you guys have any, last-minute start-sit questions, I'll be there to answer those questions while we're there. Also help you with inactives and actives prior to the 1 o'clock games, and I'll be there to just talk football and get you guys ready to go. So, all right, we're going to wrap this thing up. Kendall, wonderful as always. Enjoy your takes. Really great that I could have you here tonight. Really wish everybody luck on their week 4 matchups. And for those on the West Coast, I hope you guys enjoy getting up early.
Amen to that.
All right, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Let's play some music.
All righty.
Fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.